Coach, first of all, these are crazy times. You had a message on social media talking about the coronavirus. I guess what's your message to Buckeye Nation?
Well, this time, this is something that none of us have ever seen before, and certainly unprecedented times. So just the fact that we all got to stick together, and that we're going to come out of this thing. It's just a matter of when, and we just have to make sure that even though we're in isolation, that we know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel here. And so certainly, we're all worried about people physically, worried about people financially, and we're worried about people mentally. And so I think the more we can stay in touch through social media and just kind of make sure everyone knows that, we're going to get through this thing together, and that once we get through, everyone's going to be okay.
Coach, we hear all the time, Buckeye Nation. I've said it, the money they raise on the Buckeye Cruise, they're the first there to help. And I know you're hearing those kind of stories where folks are helping folks. And first and foremost, we need to take care of our senior citizens and take care of your neighbors.
Yeah, that's right. And there's a lot of people who, as we learn more about what's going on with this COVID-19, we're finding out who are higher risks than others, and not that anybody is gonna be free of risk here. I mean, we're all at risk, but certainly there's certain demographics, and the elderly is one of them, where they're going to need our support and help, especially when they're being isolated. So as we learn more about this, we're going to find out where the support is, where the help is, and we're all going to have to try to do everything we can to help in those areas as we navigate through this. We know this is kind of the beginning of it. Unfortunately, from all the experts say that we're in for a stretch run here, and as we find out where the help is needed, we're going to have to do that and be a part of the solution.
Coach, you think about some of the things that have happened in the past, national tragedies, 9/11, even World War II. Sports always continued. It was something to keep us occupied. But I think the fact that there is no sports kind of shows the gravity of how serious this is.
Yeah, it is. At least for my family, we're kind of in the confines of our house, and a little bit walking around outside, but that's about it. And it's just interesting because it's almost like going back 100 years, and there's no sports to watch. I mean, you can watch some movies and do some things social media wise, but other than that, we're playing checkers and chess, playing cards, and that kind of thing. But certainly for our team, it's very difficult. We're spread out throughout the country. Guys are with their families, for the most part. Some guys are still in town, in their apartments as we get into next week, where classes begin, and a lot of the in-person classes are now going virtual, and we're making the transition for our students.
The one thing I hear, people want to still know about the Buckeyes. So all the players are home, they're with their families. What have you said to the guys? And obviously just hunker down, right?
Yep. And we're trying to use different forms of communication. Certainly the position coaches are in touch with everybody on a daily basis, and we put a plan together this week. First off, where are they living? There are some guys who are living in their apartments throughout Columbus, but the majority of guys are home with their families, and because there's really not much we can do. Is the Woody shut down right now, and there's really not much we can do on campus. So there are a few guys though that are local. And so everybody kind of has their living situation. Then the next thing was their academic situation. How are we going to get them set up with whatever they need in terms of taking their classes online and making those accommodations, and then trying to at least have a plan for them physically, staying in shape. We're right in the middle of spring ball when this thing all broke out. Guys had really worked hard to get into great shape, and so we're going to try to do the best we can to do that, although gyms and everything have shut down. So it's a unique challenge.
The good news is, no one's getting an advantage over Ohio State. Everyone's in this boat. From that standpoint, are you pretty much resigned? There's probably not going to be a resumption of spring practice at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we're taking it literally kind of 2 days at a time, and seeing what happens by the end of the week, because we know this is changing fast. But yeah, we've already kind of figured that part, into our plans in terms of moving forward. But we won't really know how this thing shakes out. We just got to be able to handle it better than everybody else. Like you said, there are some teams that had a few more spring practices than we did going into this. So we're hopeful that there's some things we can, get back on the back end, but I don't know if it'll be practice. I'm not sure. You talk about somebody who's working around the clock. It's Gene Smith and our administrators right now. You talk about you know, there's so much work to be done.
Right.
The conference calls. There's just so much that's going on right now, and so those guys are working around the clock to try to figure out the big problems. And then as time goes on, the details are getting down to us. But so we don't know exactly how that's going to shake out. But we just need to handle it better than everybody else.
Hopefully all this has gone away by the fall and we can watch the Buckeyes play some great football. Just give the fans an idea prior to this. How are they looking in spring? Were you pretty pleased with what you were seeing?
Yeah, I think that we were off to a great start. A lot of good leadership. Different team, but a lot of guys who played a lot of football. Certainly the way last year played, and so yeah, we had 3 really good practices, and we're excited about getting back to work on that. But then our attention quickly shifted to this, and certainly we're excited to get everybody back when that happens. But in the meantime, there's things that are more important than football, and right now it's about the health and safety of everybody throughout the country and certainly Ohio and Columbus.
No question about it. Last couple things, we heard the president at the news conference today, some of the doctors, and let's face it, we were all young once, Coach. You deal with young people, and we all thought we were invincible. But the message today was, hey, young people, you can't keep hanging out the way you were, because at the end of the day, you can spread this deadly disease.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the reason I went on this morning, is just to help spread the word that this is serious and that we have to listen to our government officials who are giving us the best information they can get, and they're doing the best they can, because this is something that's been really unknown. This is a brand new challenge for all of us, and so we all have to do that. We all have loved ones, and we're part of this thing together, so we have to listen and adhere to all the guidelines.
Real quick, this is kind of very unusual for you. You're usually very busy at this time. The nice thing is you're spending some quality time with your kids and your wife. I mean, you're with your family, and I guess we all are.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. We still are working from home, and there's a lot that goes into that. We're not typically, coaches don't really work from home very well. But we're watching our film. We have certain things we're doing football wise, and then recruiting is big, and we're taking advantage of some of the the FaceTiming and the Skype and the Zoom and those type of things that can stay in touch with not only our players but also recruits, and making sure we're on top of that. So yeah, work is still going on, but at the same time, it's a different environment and an opportunity to reconnect with the family.
I like the beard. You going to keep it?
I don't know. I think I may just let it go here while we're in quarantine and see what happens.
It looks good. You look cool. Coach, thanks so much. God bless you and stay safe. Best to your family.
Same here, Dom. Thanks, man.